check this out. He's gonna have to come to the conclusion.
Right.
The realization, he's gonna have to have an epiphany, which is a realization that if you don't get paid those, if you don't get the transfer portal, you ain't winning.
You got to win. That's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna win. That's the only way you're gonna compete now. I don't know who the boosters are over in Clemson. That is the only way you're gonna compete with the better teams. That's the only way you're gonna compete with the Alabamas. Only way you're gonna compete with the LSUs. Only way you're gonna compete with the Georgias. You got to open
Ohio State, the Michigan, all those big top-notch teams. Clemson is one of 4 teams. Navy, Army, Air Force. They don't accept transfer in the service academy. That didn't land a transfer. Didn't. Hey, Dabo, you said when they started playing players, you were going to exit stage left.
Wow. Strong thoughts coming in from Shannon Sharpe on Nightcap. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Shannon Sharpe torching Dabo Swinney for not using the transfer portal, with Clemson getting blown out to Georgia by the score of 34-3 in the season opener. It has now raised concerns about the credibility of Clemson's football program, with Dabo Swinney struggling to maintain a great program at Clemson. It has now raised questions on whether or not Clemson is going to be a good football team moving forward. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Has Dabo Swinney become the problem at Clemson in recent memory? I'm going to say yes to that, and I think the common denominator in Clemson struggling ever since the Trevor Lawrence era has to come back to Dabo Swinney. Look, I get it. Dabo Swinney is a fantastic coach, and he's won multiple titles at Clemson. That has to count for something. Dabo Swinney deserves a lot of credit for the success of Clemson. However, you have to also give credit to Dabo Swinney for creating the downfall of Clemson football. Why is that? Because Dabo Swinney refuses to use the transfer portal. If you're not using the transfer portal in the modern day age of college football, you're quite frankly doing yourself a disservice. You have to use the transfer portal in order to be successful at the highest level, because that's where the best players enter more often than not. These guys are not staying at programs for 4 to 5 years anymore. These guys are changing programs every 11 months, basically. You have to be able to use the transfer portal and be able to recruit well at the high school level in order to build the best possible football team in college football. Dabo Swinney is not doing that. He's doing his program a major disservice by doing that, and I thought Shannon Sharpe highlighted those exposures of Dabo Swinney really well, and I'm going to show you guys this clip from Nightcap. Roll the film.
I remember, hey, you know another guy?
Who that?
Coach K said, I don't do one and dones. No, that ain't me.
Right.
Until he started doing one and dones. Yeah. If you can't beat him, join him.
You ain't got no choice.
Dabo.
You ain't got no choice.
Get with the program.
You ain't got no choice.
You're not that good. You're not that good, buddy. You're not that good. If you think you just gonna get high school seniors and that's what you're gonna win with, bro, that's over.
Not gonna happen.
It is over. Everybody else is doing it. Look at the top 10 teams.
There you go, Shannon Sharpe. That's a good way to cook Dabo Swinney, and he spoke absolute truth when addressing the issue of Dabo Swinney. It's pretty clear that Dabo Swinney is behind the times, and that if he doesn't adjust his ways, he's going to be left behind in college football sooner rather than later if he hasn't already done that. You look at how Clemson has become a declining program with each passing year. What happened after Trevor Lawrence left Clemson to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Clemson fell off and they became a pretty good program. Then what happened? Then they became just a good program. Last year, they didn't even win 10 games, something that had never happened at Clemson in years. And now, obviously, Clemson gets off to a poor start in week 1 against Georgia. I understand they're not going to be playing against Georgia every week, but it's not the fact that they lost 34-3 against Georgia that makes me very worried about this Clemson program. It's the fact that Clemson didn't even look like they belonged out there on a football field. That team did not look like a good team whatsoever and looked like a team that would be lucky to win 6 games in college football this year. Of course, I think Clemson is going to be better than that because of the schedule that they have, but for the most part, that Clemson team did not look good whatsoever. They struggled mightily against Georgia, and they looked like a team that was not going to win conference whatsoever. And this is a conference that many people consider to be one of the weakest conferences in college football. The ACC has become an absolute joke, and if Clemson can't win that conference, then what is Clemson's use in college football? Obviously, Dabo Swinney needs to make major adjustments and start using the transfer portal. I understand Dabo Swinney is not supportive of the transfer portal and that he's not not necessarily supportive of the new age of college football. But look, you're either going to have to evolve or you're eventually going to become extinct. That's the reality of the situation for Dabo Swinney, and whether he likes it or not, that's the hand that he's going to be dealing with. Either way, you're going to have to be able to adjust in college football, and you need to start using the transfer portal, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting blown out against good teams, and then eventually you're going to start losing games against teams that you should win, even though you're not going to end up beating them. That's why I think App State is going to be upsetting Clemson this upcoming Saturday, because I think App State has a little bit more hunger than Clemson to prove themselves, and I think Clemson is going to end up losing to App State, even though it's at home and Clemson should be able to win that game. But I get a feeling that App State is going to go ahead and beat those guys this upcoming Saturday. Shannon Sharpe also discussed the concept of paying players in the transfer portal. He got on Dabo Swinney for not understanding the concept of that. Roll the film.
Reading the thing, I think I was in New York Times, though, right, was telling you what it costs to get a top notch. You're paying $700,000-$800,000 for a quarterback. Yep. You're paying $400,000-$500,000 for a receiver. You're paying $400,000-$500,000 for a defensive lineman.
Once again, Shannon Sharpe spoke absolute truth when talking about Dabo Swinney. He certainly exposed his football ideology and what he believed in. Shannon Sharpe also called out Dabo Swinney for not making adjustments in college football. Roll the film.
They went 9-4 last year. That was the first time since 2010 they didn't win 10 games.
I mean,
hold on. You mean to tell me Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, all the top 10 teams can go in the portal, but you think you good enough not to? So Dabo can do all this. He can get on his pulpit and preach and pontificate all he wants to. Oh, I'm gonna leave if they start. You ain't got no plan.
He also talked about how Dabo Swinney needs to make adjustments as soon as possible, because if he doesn't do that, then his football program is going to become extinct in the Dabo Swinney era. Obviously, football at Clemson is still going to be a thing, but we're talking about in terms of greatness, Clemson football is going to be extinct. Shannon Sharpe was absolutely right about that statement. I have one more clip to show you guys on what Shannon Sharpe had to say about Dabo Swinney. He addressed the salary of Dabo Swinney, and he pointed out the hypocrisy surrounding Dabo Swinney's opinion about money. Roll the film.
He had no problem. Every time Clemson give him a boost, he making 7, he making 8, he making 10, he making 11. He had no problem. All the players, this is college, this is, man, shut up.
Yeah.
The players finna get that money. Get it. Get it. And don't y'all go to Clemson unless they pay top dollar.
Yeah.
That's facts right there. Shannon Sharpe absolutely spoke truth when talking about the salary of Dabo Swinney. How can Dabo Swinney complain about players making money when Dabo Swinney is making millions of dollars and is one of the highest paid coaches in college football? Dabo Swinney is acting like he is a broke coach, when in reality he is actually one of the richest coaches in college football. And with the money that Dabo Swinney is making, he better be spending some of that money to get good players in the transfer portal, because if you're not using the transfer portal, then you're doing your program a disservice. No wonder why Clemson has not become a good football team in recent memory by Clemson standards, and I don't expect that to change in the 2024 collegiate football season. Dabo Swinney, of course, deserves credit for the rise of Clemson football. He also deserves credit for the fall of Clemson football. So that is why Dabo Swinney has become the main problem at Clemson in recent memory, as Clemson needs to start using the transfer portal ASAP. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm gonna shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.